Hi friends, astrologer Joseph Anthony here, and welcome to this month's New Moon Outlook. This one's going to be for May the 7th, 2024, and I've called this one Unexpected Value and Pleasure. This is because there's going to be some wonderful alignments coming up on the middle of the month, but I'm going to primarily focus on this new moon coming in. That's going to be very important because this has a lot to do with our value system, and I'm going to talk about the Taurus new moon in a minute. But it has a lot to do with stability, grounding, money, food, anything that's associated with this time of the year. But also, since the new moon is highlighting this sign of Taurus, wherever this is in your actual birth chart, this will highlight that area, that new opportunity. And new moons are cycles that open up a pathway or a doorway for the next 2 weeks to do something new or to go in a new direction or to see something in a different way. And that's what they do. Now, from what I understand, this is also a very powerful new moon because it's a supermoon, which means it's closer to the Earth, which means its energy is going to be more effective, or we're going to feel it more. And so let's dive in. I'm also going to be talking about some of the things that are going on right now. I can only talk so much on here, or I have to watch what I say. But wait until the end because I have a special announcement to make as well. So anyway, let's dive in and see what is going on here, okay? So let's talk about this Taurus new moon. And these are some of the qualities associated with the sign of Taurus. Now, every sign has positive traits and it has negative traits. And so here we have, it's a sign about maturity, dependability, faithful, gracious, enduring, positive, friendly, loving, strong-minded, creative, independent. Now, if you look at these symbols in astrology, you have to look at them as sort of an energy. And this is why the bull represents stability. It represents foundations. It doesn't like to change. It likes accumulating things. This is the sign of the physical world. So things like physical body, the physical money, and I will be talking about that in a few minutes. Accumulating things and having things are very important to Taurus, but they have to be nice things and beautiful things because it's ruled by Venus. And so the negative traits of the sign are, indulgence, hostile, domineering, jealousy, lazy, too money oriented, because Taurus is the sign of money. I've had clients over the years, who had strong Taurus in their charts, and they're always worried about money because this sign likes stability. So obviously right now we know the world is changing and the whole financial system is changing. A new one is trying to emerge. But as I've been saying all along, the real battle right now is between control of the monetary system and freedom. So this is going to be very important. So the other thing about Taurus is they can be very stubborn and set in their ways. So this is the kind of energy that's influencing this new moon. So look to your birth chart and see where this energy will light up your birth chart, and you'll get an idea of, where that energy is lighting up. So let's continue. Here is the actual chart for this new moon on May the 7th. Here it is at 18 degrees of Taurus. So wherever this is in your birth chart, that's the area that gets lit up. That's the area you want to look at and see how it's affecting you. See where your Venus is, because Venus is the ruler of Taurus. And you could see here we have quite a few planets in Taurus. So this is a very powerful, strong Taurus energy. But we also see Uranus, the wild card, very closely aligned to this new moon. And so this is a conjunction. So this is why I said that, the unexpected or surprises could be in the mix during this new moon and over the course of the next 2 weeks. So things having to do with money, having to do with food, having to do with values and beliefs. But also, like I said, the pleasure, because Taurus likes things that are beautiful and nice and luxurious, outings and things that are aesthetically pleasing. And especially around May the 18th, when there's going to be double conjunctions going on in Taurus. So talk about a very favorable Taurus energy. So look for that in your birth chart. This new moon is not really making any difficult aspects. It's even making a favorable alignment to Saturn right here at 17 degrees. So this energy could be used very wisely to create a new foundation, a new structure, a new belief system. This is what this new moon is indicating here. And so on a personal level, what is it that you want to do? What do you want to achieve? There's no excuses right now because Mercury's out of retrograde. Mars is in Aries. So we have the stamina and will to go and do things. We also have Mercury in Aries. So we have the drive and determination to go and do things. So I would suggest during this new moon cycle to set some intentions. Next couple of weeks, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and make it happen. You see, what I've discovered over the years of studying human nature is that it's the little steps, it's the little things that you do that make a difference, and they add up. So this is about the little things, doing the little things that, could build up to something different or something better. And that's what this is all about. Taurus is the sign of manifesting. So manifest what you need, not what you want and desire, like millions of dollars and, a fancy house and all this other stuff. Keep it simple. Taurus is about getting back to the basics, the simple things in life, enjoying, being out in nature or having a wonderful meal somewhere with some wonderful friends and family. This is the thing that Taurus really enjoys most. You see? And so it's about the simple pleasures. It's about enjoying yourself in a simple way. So try and do that around this new moon and then begin to manifest what you need. That's my suggestion here. So on a personal level, this looks really good if you're a Taurus, a Capricorn, a Virgo. This looks good. Cancer, that looks good also. Pisces, that looks good. Even Scorpio, it looks good. All the water signs, all the earth signs. Now, the other signs, because there are difficult angles to this new moon, there's an adjustment period. Let's just put it that way. But again, it really depends on your own birth chart and where this falls in your birth chart. Okay, so it's really, I really don't like looking at things as negative and positive. I like to look at them at, what is this experience? What needs to be experienced here? And so with this new moon, it is about new values and new beliefs and understanding them, okay, especially with this much energy in Jupiter and Uranus. So let's take a deeper dive into what I'm seeing here in the USA chart. Now, as you know, I've been talking about this fifth house because we've had quite a bit of energy from Uranus and Jupiter in this fifth house, and this new moon will continue to light up this fifth house, as you can see here, 18 degrees. So there's something that's building. There's something that's new that's coming in this month that we'll need to pay attention to in the United States. Now, the other thing is I'm looking at Uranus has now slipped into the sixth house along with Jupiter. And so this is the house that has to do with service, everyday life. This has to do with food. This has to do with animals. Okay, and I will be talking about that because Taurus rules the food. It rules anything with food. And so this is going to be a very important month that we need to pay attention to food production, food prices, and anything else associated with the quality of food. Banking, that's another area because in the United States' chart, we know there's something going on behind the scenes with the banking world. And I do have some slides for that in a little bit. But this is going to be very important as well. And of course, the fourth house has to do with like the land itself, farmland. Production, all of that stuff. So this looks favorable in the United States' chart. We'll have to see how it plays itself out. It's making favorable alignments to the Sun and Mercury. So once again, communication is being highlighted in this chart for the United States. We'll have to see over the next couple of weeks what kind of news or announcements come into being. Could be something to do with markets, money reevaluation, cryptocurrency. All of that stuff is on the table, especially during a powerful supermoon in Taurus. So let's take a little deeper dive. As you know, I've been talking about this since Jupiter entered Taurus and Uranus has been in Taurus since, the last 3 or 4 years, that areas pertaining to Taurus are being highlighted. It has a lot to do with our values. It has a lot to do with food. Everything that I've been just saying, very important that we need to pay attention to. One of the things that Taurus love to do is eat. Okay, so food production. Now, this is where it gets very interesting as we dive deeper into, what's going on. As you know, the last couple of years, we've had a lot of fires around food production plants and anything to do with food, as if somebody is trying to change the dynamics of food production. All right, and there's tons of stories out there. There's been 20 to 30 plants that have burned down. So this is very, very much something we need to pay attention to this month as well. Okay, because I think it was last month or the month before, there was a chicken farm that caught fire. So again, anything to do with food. But I came across this video that you guys might want to check out. The link is down below. Here's a farmer that has been a farmer most of his life, all of his life, including his past generations. And he's talking about how this country is literally buying up farmland and also the processing plants and everything else. And I left the video link down below, and just listen to this farmer talk about food and how it's getting difficult and more difficult. Friends, we have to rely on farmers for food unless you want to grow your own. So this is a very eye-opening video, and this just came out a couple of weeks ago, I believe. So please watch this video to get a better understanding. It's not to alarm you, it's to inform you, okay? Very important. Also, talking about food, how'd you like some GMO steak? I mean, this is also becoming mainstream. And they usually this is a trial run in other countries, smaller countries, to see if they take it, if they, they want to accept it. So there's the process of 3D printed meat. And I remember watching a few videos on this. So this is also, Uranus in Taurus, using technology to create food. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not too thrilled with 3D printed meat. Okay, it's really an interesting process on how they do that, but God only knows what's in it. Anyway, so that's another area that we need to pay attention to. Also, this wonderful humanitarian individual is also involved in this genetically modified beef cows to fight this nonsense right here. Now, if you believe that he's actually doing this to benefit humanity, I've got a bridge I want to sell you in Arizona. Okay, please contact me. So this is, again, and he's being obvious. It's out there. He's not holding back. They don't care anymore. They want to move forward with their agenda. And so this guy is definitely leading the way, and he's being so brazen about it. Anyway, here's the article that he's talking about, where he was on a show here talking about fighting this nonsense right here, how we have AI technology to genetically modify cows to produce less methane. I mean, this is all hogwash, literally. Okay, but here is the, what he talked about. So just giving you an idea of what's happening and how it pertains to the astrology, because we're talking about food. Also, this wonderful organization has teamed up with a bug company, all right, to buy more insects and bugs. Now, normally, you wouldn't say no big deal, but the fact that they're buying these bugs and that the WEF has been talking about eating bugs is a little alarming. Okay, so what are they doing to, this beef or these chickens and so on? I know normally chickens eat bugs, and that's wonderful because they process them through their digestive system and then, gives them energy and protein. But if you're going to be mixing live, these critters in with the genetically altered food, I don't think it's a good idea. And here it is right from their own website. You could go check it out. I left the link down below. There it is right there. Okay. They announced a partnership with this company right here for more sustainable protein production. I wouldn't trust these big corporations as far as I could throw them. Anyway, so I'm just showing you guys how real it is out there. Many of us truth seekers are like not surprised anymore of the craziness that's going on, with these big corporations, the banks, and so on. But this is another part of the, food and production and how it's affecting us. Here, there's this wonderful humanitarian again who signs a contract with Coca-Cola for $1.1 billion for using more AI in their products or services or whatever the hell he's got going on. But here is here's the article from Reuters. Okay, you could read it about using AI and Coca-Cola. Again, these big corporations are in bed with the big tech companies and the big banks. They all seem to be running the show. This is, hate to say it, Big Brother watching over. And, I can't talk too much on here, but that's why I said wait until the end and I'll share with you something that I've got going on. Also, You want to know what's going on? I highly suggest this woman. She is a professional reporter. She is a smart cookie. I've watched hours and hours of her videos, and she names names. She puts things together, and I just love her work. It is just fabulous because she's literally showing you how the game is being played. She's showing you the pieces of the puzzle and putting them together. So especially with you Bitcoin lovers, okay? This is a video that just came out about, I believe, a week ago. And she's talking about how Bitcoin is being hacked because the big criminal banks and so on are wanting it. They want to control it. And they're doing their best to do it. And she talks about who the people are and who the companies are who are doing all this. So pay attention, you Bitcoin lovers, you crypto lovers. And again, this falls under the umbrella of the Taurus energy. So keep watching Whitney Webb and support her and say a few meditations or prayers that she sticks around. Because, you know what happens. They accidentally get met with, a disappearance, if you will. There's another video here also about the banking system in the UK. How, I got to be careful what I say here. Again, they're watching the bank accounts there for no apparent reason. The governments and the banks have given themselves authority to watch everything that's processed through the bank accounts. And so here's another, and this, of course, is Redacted, which does a fabulous job going down the rabbit hole, and they show you the evidence. It's not, this is for me, this is a real news agency because not only is Clayton a former news anchor, but he also investigates everything, and he doesn't put anything out unless he has some facts or, starts to point you in a direction. So I really do enjoy this. Again, I left this link down below. Okay, so I put this video out with Colonel Douglas MacGregor. It's a short, 3-minute video, and he's literally talking about what the real power struggle is. Now, many of you commented on it, that it's AI and all this other stuff, and it really doesn't matter. Maybe it is AI. I don't know. But the point is the message is fantastic, and he really gets to the point that the real battle right now is we need to keep an eye on the banking system and AI. These two, if they're merged together by the same psychopaths that run this planet, we're in trouble. Because there goes your freedom. There goes anything to do with your personal, identity. It's out the window. So please, I know you guys are on it. You guys are truth seekers, just like myself and so many others. Pay attention, okay? But this video, I believe I have a link down below. Again, you could watch it. Very important video. Again, she talks about how the end of the world as we know it, and she's referring to the AI and the banking system. So another fantastic video by Whitney. And so I highly suggest you watch these videos to give you a better understanding of what we're up against. It's not about the local politics right now, presidential elections and all this other stuff, even though they're completely controlled. But the bigger picture, these clandestine organizations that, just are doing stuff behind the scenes. And she names names and organizations and groups that are doing it. So please pay attention to it. All right, let's switch gears here a second because I want to talk about something that's also going on. And this is really making some headway here. Because we're all feeling this energy, because we know there's something going on with cosmic energy, which I know is actually happening, coming from space. But at the same time, we've got some of this going on locally. And this guy here, Into Thin Air, his channel's blowing up, and I'm going to help him because he's doing a fabulous job of showing us how it's working. And so these are frequency waves, as you could see here. But also, on April the 23rd, again, you see how this energy from space and what's going on the ground is making a huge difference in our behavior, our thinking, our moods, and so on. We had four solar flares on April the 23rd. That is huge. And I can just tell you for myself personally, on that day around, I think it was in the morning, after coffee and all that stuff, I got so tired. I got so loopy and spacey. I was like, what the hell is going on here? I could feel something going on. And all of a sudden, I go to spaceweather.com and shazam, 4 solar flares rip out from the sun. You see how powerful the energy is, friends? As soon as those 4 flares zip out, it's like a magnetic wave So all of a sudden gets, a pulse leaves the sun and hits the earth. So immediately I started feeling it, and many other friends and other people that I've talked to said, hey, are you feeling this energy? Oh yeah, it just hit me. I was like, there it is. So we have this kind of energy also in the mix, and we do have to keep an eye on the sun because, again, I've predicted, or many of us have looked at the possibility of a massive solar flare in October. So we got to keep an eye on this as well. So again, this is not information to scare anyone, doom and gloom. It's just magnetic waves, it's energy, it's pulses that are affecting our behavior and could affect the weather. And so speaking of the weather, I mean, if you guys that don't know what a solar flare is, this is what it looks like from one of the satellites. It rips out from the sun, and it's pretty powerful. And check it out because it's very interesting. Anyway, for those of you guys that have gone down the rabbit hole, how many of you know what this is? It's not a giant soccer ball, but this is what's controlling the ground weather. Okay? And now I have to be careful what I say here. So here is what's called a Nexrad, and this is the coverage of the United States. Can you see a problem with this, friends? Can you see a problem with this? They are telling us that these towers are meant to sort of, understand the weather and to check things out. Again, from my research, this is total hogwash. These things are being used for some other reason. Now, back in the early 2000s, I remember watching this scientist, this woman, who put this all together and pieced it all together. Because she was a scientist, she was also a computer programmer and so on. She says there's something going on here with the weather. And she showed this video. Now, of course, it's gone. It's getting harder and harder to find good information. And so this is going to be very important. And I want you guys to pay attention, because these systems are affecting us. And I want to show you what I'm talking about. Again, Into Thin Air does a fabulous job. This is a satellite capture of those systems that are being turned on, that are pulsating. Do you see a problem with this, friends? Do you see how everything in this universe is energy? And we have these things pulsing. We have the solar flares coming in. Do you think it's going to affect our moods and our minds and everything else? Do you not see that? Okay, so we do have to keep an eye on this stuff. But what Into Thin Air has been able to show, what the hell are these? These are lasers coming from these towers into storm systems. Now, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why? Are you directing clouds? Are you heating up the atmosphere? You see? And this is what this woman said back in the early 2000s. They seem to be heating up the ionosphere in order to create clouds, or to cause, terrible rain, or, whatever, hail, whatever it is that they're doing between that and the cloud seeding. And that's all real. But he's showing you, and again, I left links down below in this video. You could watch the videos yourself. And so here we have, again, more evidence that something fishy is going on here. And of course, we just had some major breaking storms, tornadoes in the middle part of the country, which is kind of normal. But here's something else that I saw. He captured a screenshot of, again, another one of these towers sending out some sort of radio wave, laser beam right into the storm. And he shows this more and more. And so what is this doing? I ask you guys, if you guys are climatologists or scientists, please explain this to me. Please explain it to the group, because this makes no sense whatsoever. What are they doing? Okay, so again, there is absolutely some form of manipulation taking place here. Same with here. Shows you another snapshot coming from Texas. Right into the storms. Right into these tornadoes. And again, I'm scratching my head and tuning into it. But I think we know the answer here, folks. We don't have to get into it, but I think we know the answer to what's going on here. So again, it affects us. Everything's frequency. So anyway, I can't talk about all this stuff on here. I can't go in depth. But I did put together this masterclass for you guys. So, and I left a link down below that you want to check out. And, I talk a little bit more in depth about what's going on, and very important. And so please check it out. And, the AI is getting smarter and smarter, and I have to be very careful with my words. But here, I don't have to be. So anyway, check it out when you get a chance, and I think you'll appreciate it. And do the best you can as we go through these transformational times. Okay. But the other thing is also I want to remind everyone, live stream this Sunday, May the 5th at 2 p.m. Eastern. Another live stream where I'll be talking about what's going on. And so I appreciate all of you guys joining in. We've had over 1,000, sometimes 1,400 members join in. And, again, it's more of us uniting and talking about what's going on. And the more we unite, the better. And so check out the live stream. And of course, I always remind everyone, remember who you really are. Okay? You're not your job. You're not your title. You're not your money. You're none of that. These are just experiences we're having. We are spiritual beings having this human experience. So do the best you can. Realize who you are. Unite with those people that you connect with on a spiritual level. And keep your vibration as high as possible. All right? So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And have a wonderful new moon. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye for now.